don't want to ingratiate myself too much, but you are just a terrific performer.
Tony, that means so much to me. And if you love me, then I love you. Thank you for saying that. You blinked for a second. You started my day off just right. And I really, really appreciate that.
Born in Syracuse, New York?
Born in Syracuse, New York. My father was one of 11. My mother was one of 3, but we moved from Syracuse to little town Cazenovia when I was 7, which is only 25 minutes from Syracuse. And the movie Rushed is based on a family from upstate New York.
Wow.
Yes.
Rushed is an amazing film, and I want to congratulate you on that as well, because it ain't easy to write, produce, and direct yourself in a film.
Well, Tony, I didn't direct it, though. A fabulous director named Vibeke Musaya, who's Danish, directed it, because I've done 3 movies with Lars von Trier in Zentropa Films in Denmark, and Dancer in the Dark with Bjork, Dogville with Lauren Bacall and Nicole Kidman and Ben Gazzara, my father's favorite actor. And I just did The House That Jack Built with Matt Dillon. And they suggested to me when they read the script of Rushed, and they wanted to co-produce it. So they then told me about Vibeke Musaya, who's our director. But I did produce it, I did write it, and I do star in it, Tony, because if no one else was going to cast me in a starring role, I had to do it myself, said the Little Red Hen.
Which is the reason I have a TV show, because
exactly. Listen,
no one would hire this.
It advances things a lot quicker. And then I just called all my friends, Robert Patrick from The Terminator, who I've worked with like 5 times, Jake Weary, who I'd worked with when he was 19, and JJ Warren, who I worked with as a little kid, and several of my friends, Perry Gilpin from Frasier as well.
Yeah, I just had a long conversation with Perry. Perry and I have been friends for a little bit.
She's the best.
Did you guys meet on Scorpion?
We did not. Perry and I did a play in LA. I lived in LA for 2 brief shining moments, 2 years. I didn't exactly fit in, Tony. I remember I used to wear a bathing cap in the pool and a one-piece bathing suit, and there was really cool people. It was I lived at 7400 Hollywood Boulevard. They're like, "You're not from here, are you?" I was like, "No." The bathing suit, the bathing cap's a dead giveaway. But anyway, Perry and I did a play called The Moderati, and Perry produced it. And she's like, "Siobhan, it's my last shot. I got to get a TV show." And what happened? She got on Frasier. So, and I actually did a play just after that called American Splendor with Dan Castellaneta, Homer Simpson, and Jerry Seinfeld came and saw it, and so did Saturday Night Live. And that's how I got on SNL and Seinfeld. So it was these glory years back, it was 1991 in LA. And that's how I met Perry, and I've known her forever. And I had this role in the film of a mom who is wealthy, and she has a son that's involved in a fraternity hazing incident. And I was like, who's better for the part than Perry? And she kills it. She kills it in the part.
And so does Robert Patrick.
Oh, he's unbelievable. I talked to Robert yesterday. I said, because I wrote another film, Tony, that we're going to start filming at the end of September. Robert's going to be in it. And of course, I'm like a dog and pony show at this point. I'm like, hi. I go to like Junior's Hamburgers in New Jersey. I'm like, my kids like your burgers. Would you hang up my poster? It's in the car. So Robert is a big Harley Davidson guy, and he rides his motorcycle everywhere. I was like, Robert, stick a friggin' poster on your back and ride around the country with it. But he's actually going to a convention in Boston because the movie is going to be playing at the Coolidge Theater in Boston, which, according to my publicist, Andy, he said that is one of the most beautiful movie theaters in the country, the Coolidge. And Robert will be in Boston at this convention at the same time. So it's crazy. But what's more important is Robert Patrick, who I met on the movie Striptease. I'm a Catholic. I don't know how I fell into that one. But anyway, I was the only actress who was not a stripper in the movie. And we all went out with Burt Reynolds. I sat next to him. I think he was highly disappointed, but actually we had a great time. And
it was the bathing cap that,
It was the bathing cap. And Robert Patrick played my brother in it. And we've stayed friends all these years. And I called him up and I said, hey, listen, I wrote this movie called Rushed. It's about a family from upstate New York who has a son in a fraternity hazing incident. Would you play my husband? He's like, I'm all in.
Yeah,
and let me tell you something. The salary wasn't quite what he was used to. That means he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. I've interviewed him a little bit over the years, and he's one of those actors like you are that can do anything. I was telling Perry that I put you in the same category as I do Cherry Jones.
So nice. I love Cherry Jones.
You and a lot of people don't know who she is, but your stage and you've done enough to realize that she is just a force of nature.
She is unbelievable. I saw her on Broadway many times, and to be in the same category with her, Tony, you're my new best friend. I appreciate that. But Robert, I mean, his performance in this movie is beyond the beyond as the dad. He's just rock solid. My husband in real life is a real guy's guy. His family owned the White Horse Tavern in New York City. Plays rugby. I said, who's like my husband? Robert Patrick. I mean, easily. But Robert, my gosh, his performance in Walk the Line as Johnny Cash's father, it's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. And of course, everybody knows him from The Terminator,
Yeah, but I mean, that's such a small little moment in his career, although it's the one that fans respond to. But Robert also has one of those great voices, built for radio. It's built for radio drama.
Beautiful voice. And let me tell you, he is as great a performer as great a guy is. He's good through and through. And he's hilarious. We would laugh so hard. There was one night, we had a night shoot. And Vivica, as I said, our fabulous director, is going, okay, Robert, okay, Siobhan, are you ready? And Robert's like, I'm ready, but I'm starving to death because we didn't exactly have the biggest budget. And we had a scene, this is so funny. We had shot a scene at a hospital, and I had said, maybe we should give the cast and the crew that day their own money because, it's kind of complicated. And the caterer's like, no, I can make submarine sandwiches. Well, one of the nurses got it mixed up, and she took the tray of the submarine sandwiches and served it to the patients. So needless to say, we couldn't really complain. I mean, what we're going to say, like, hey, why did the patients take our food? So we were starving. But anyway, he was hilarious. He was so easy about it. He was great.
And those are the little things that happen with independent movies, isn't it? I mean,
my gosh.
Just stories upon stories.
Tony, we filmed Rushed in my town, Rumson, New Jersey. I'm originally from upstate. The last 2 days were in upstate for the foliage. I put out on my Facebook, which I really hardly even didn't know how to really use. I'm technically challenged. And I said, hey, does anybody have any rooms they'd like to rent to crew? They're coming to town. And people were beyond generous. They're like, I have 3 rooms. I have 2 rooms. I'd be like, well, what would you like a room? Nothing. I mean, it was like it takes a village times 100. It was unbelievable.
When people do films, and I have a lot of students and people that watch this interview show, and they're starting out, I always tell them it's wise to set aside as much as you pay for the film to produce it. Set that aside for your budget to promote it.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. Vertical Entertainment, who is distributing our film domestically, and Octane's distributing it in Europe and other countries. They've been incredible. But I will say too, I have been like, what's that? I think I can. Remember the train going up the hill or the Little Red Hen? I have called around because Vertical, they're doing a certain amount of theaters, which is fabulous. But I said, I want to do more. So I spend the days on the phone calling theaters saying, hi, my name is Siobhan Fallon Hogan. I wrote a movie called Rushed. And it stars Robert Patrick, who's fabulous from The Terminator, Jake Weary from Animal Kingdom, myself, blah, blah, blah. And I have booked, Tony, I'm telling you, South Dakota, Hawaii, Cleveland, Ohio, Florida, all over the place. Georgia, there's 3. So I've double teamed with Vertical. And it's really funny too, because I don't take no for an answer, because I figure at this stage of the game, who cares? You know what I mean? When you get to be my age, like, who cares? So like this one theater in Cleveland, they're like, well, I mean, can you convince us? I was like, I sure can. Robert Patrick's mother lives in Cleveland, and it's going to be a full house. But you know what I mean? And Boston, like these people, I'll tell you what, theater owners are really great people because, well, they have an equal passion for film and they're happy people because they love what they do. So I found across the board, they're incredible. I become friends with this one woman, Kelly, out in Madison, South Dakota. She's like, Siobhan, come out to my camp. I was like, I will. And you know what I'm doing, Tony? Is I tell them, I say, listen, I will do a video for your individual theater. So I've been doing that, and I'm doing Q&As after, like the night that the movie premieres here in Red Bank, New Jersey. I mean, it's going to be like, you know, star-studded tuxedos. My daughter's friend's making me a dress. Of course, it's green. I only wear green. See my green top. Anyway, so that night, because of the time change, I'm then going to be I'm leaving the party to go do Q&As for like all over the place. And Saturday night too, like Zoom, because I believe in this movie. I think it's a fantastic thriller. And, you know, we've screened it for a lot of people and across the board, they love it. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I believe, you know, with COVID and everything, now that the theaters are back open, I'm like, it's going to be on video on demand the same day it opens on Apple, iTunes, Amazon, and all kinds of platforms. But listen, if it's not in your town and you're in college, do it on video on demand. But if you have a theater that it's playing at, go see it on the big screen.
It's such a relevant film for those reasons.
Yeah, and the question is, when things do go bad and really bad, what are you made of? Yeah. Like, what are you going to do as a mom? Are you going to sit back? Are you going to take the high road? And if the high road doesn't work, are you going to take the low road? Yeah. And like, listen, I have red hair. My sisters were always like, listen, watch out. She's got a crazy Irish temper and she's a redhead. That's a bad combo. That's like I don't know what that is. That's like a bomb. But anyway, so, you know, I have a temper. So when I wrote this film, I was like, geez, if someone really crossed my kid in a really harmful way, where would that take me? You know? And I remember my Uncle Mickey, because my father, as I said, was one of 11. And they were really funny, all storytellers, all hilarious. Like in my family, it was stressed to be funny, not to be smart. But anyway, they're like, who got the best story? Listen, your grades weren't so good. You have all C's. I remember I got a D in college in astronomy. My father goes, well, no, Siobhan, don't feel badly about that. Here's a pie, right? Now, if you take this much of the pie out, there's still quite a bit of the pie left. You got 65% right. Look on the bright side. But if you told a bad story or a bad joke, they'd be like, come on, can't you think of something else? But anyway, what's I tell you? So my Uncle Mickey, somebody crossed my cousin once and he sat the guy down and he goes, hey, listen, he was 74. He goes, I've lived my life. You cross my daughter again and I'm going to take you out. And I guess I'm a lot like my Uncle Mickey.
Yeah, I'm Italian, so I understand this.
You understand.
More than you think.
Yes, you listen, you're a lot like us, except you can cook better.
Yeah, and I'm willing to have you over here for dinner.
Tony, I would love that. I went out to, the Sundance Film Festival, and if I go again, I would love to meet you in person.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. And you come visit me in the lounge that I do every year.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I just have to ask you this, because going back to Saturday Night Live, how did working on Saturday Night Live prepare you for being, a writer and a dramatic actress?
I went to this comedy club audition and I got it in it. It was for improv. So I would do improv every Saturday night at this place, Who's On First. And the director said to me, why don't you write a one-woman show? So I never even thought of writing. So I did. And then I did it in New York. I rented out a lobby of an off-Broadway theater and I passed out the cards that I made on the TKTS line. So people thought I was in an off-Broadway show, but I wasn't. I'd only rented out the lobby on Sunday and Monday nights when they were dark, when there were no shows. So people were like, wow, she has her own woman show to off-Broadway. That's pretty good. And long and short of it is I got a lot of good reviews and SNL came and that's how I got on the show.
Holes was such a wonderful movie and you got to work with Henry Winkler.
Unbelievable. I mean, I grew up with the Fonz. Henry Winkler's the best guy. Henry and Lauren Bacall are two people that I have worked with who we literally conspired together on how we were going to get more screen time. Henry called me at night in my hotel. He goes, Siobhan, he goes, we don't have enough screen time. What are we going to do? I go, I don't know. What do you think? He said, what do you say we incorporated dance? So when you see that scene where I don't smell anything, we start dancing, it makes zero sense. But that's what we did. Lauren Bacall, I was in one of the largest movies, Dogville. We were walking up the ramp to the set, and Lauren said, she was 82. Siobhan, what do you have after this? I said, nothing. She said, do you think you and I will ever work again? So the point of the story, Tony, is that no matter what stage you are, if you're a character actress or, no matter what kind of actor, you're always worried about that next job.
This portion of Screen Chatter is presented by VP Dental. Check out our great dental plans starting at just $16 per month. I actually had the pleasure of working with Lauren Bacall in a very weird way. She was doing applause at the Amundsen Theater in London.
Yes.
And I was an usher there in high school.
That's amazing.
And no, but I met her in the elevator and she goes, darling, you have such a nice voice. Would you read lines with me? And I went in and I spent like every day I would read lines with Lauren Bacall.
That's incredible. She was literally the best. And I'm actually
royalty.
When she wrote her book, her autobiography, it was so popular, they had her do an addendum and she wrote an additional chapters, and I'm in it in my family. And she says, I never thought we'd be friends. And I went to her apartment, the Dakota. My husband, she's like, Peter, what would you like to drink? And she took her best cognac and she went, and there was Bobby Kennedy and John Gielgud. And, it was like being in a museum. Yeah. She was fabulous. Yeah.
And such a sense of humor.
Oh, hilarious. Totally hilarious.
You have someone in your auspices, which is a big word that means absolutely nothing, that you would love to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Well, I've always loved Diane Keaton. And I love Diane Wiest. I love Shirley MacLaine. And I love, I just love those three actresses. So I would be honored to work with any three of those. And I look up to them, because they paved the way.
Yeah. They're brilliant. I think Diane Wiest is just another one of those brilliant actresses. She
went to my church in New York City, Holy Trinity, and so did Chris Farley. Chris Farley and I were very, very good friends from Saturday Night Live, but I knew Diane Wiest. She was always in the front row. Yeah.
What an amazing person. I'm sorry, I'm just stunned by you because, again, you're so personable too. It's not, this is a great living for you. You're in the right business.
Listen, I love people. And like my sisters come down and I like go to the bank and I'm like, hi, Lauren, hi, Janelle. And they're like, how do you know? Like, I talk to everybody. Maybe I don't know if it's a good thing or maybe I'm insane, but I love people. And when I did the film Rushed, I said, you know what? I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated on a set. And I also emulated the European way, which is there's no above the line and below the line. The crew means just as much, as the actors, and people shouldn't go ahead of someone online and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? We're all in this together like a play. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And listen, your crew on Rushed was amazing. We always talk about the actors in front of the camera, but these guys, the grips, the gaffers, the lighting guys, and all of that were just spot on.
Oh, our cinematographer, Matthias Schubert, I had worked with before. I called him up. This is really funny. I had the wrong number. Then I emailed him, and I'm so old, I put Matthias Schubert, well, I shouldn't give away his email, but I did AOL, and then he didn't answer me. I was like, what the heck? I thought we got along really well. And then I realized it was Gmail. He did a fabulous job. Sabina Miliani, the editor, is incredible. She did March of the Penguins. I had done this film with Johnny Depp that Wayne Roberts wrote, The Professor. And Vivica, our director, said on the way up, our last 2 days to upstate, because we want to get nice shots of the foliage. We have an A-list film, but we don't have an A-list editor. And I said, I know one. And I called Sabine and she was, Siobhan, I am in. So I went to France to edit. It was unbelievable.
Going to France for anything is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
As a single mom, I want to make sure my kids have healthy teeth. Going to the dentist can be expensive. Just a simple cleaning can cost over $100. Then I found TDA, and for about $1 a day, Total Dental Administrators covers my family on over 200 dental procedures. Whether you're an individual, a family, self-employed, or retired, your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these policies. Call or click for your free information kit and see how affordable dental health can be.
I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, and I appreciate the time you've given me.
Right. Well, Tony, I want to say, so make sure people, they can go on our Instagram at Rushed Movie, or they can go on our Facebook, Rushed Movie, and they can see all the lists of theaters where it's going to be. Or they can go on Video on Demand, which I don't know how to do that. Apple, iTunes, whatever. Thanks a million, Tony.